Hi, Dee.
Hi, Lynn. How are you?
Well, I'm doing fine. We're dealing with some technical issues this morning, but we've got them worked out. So I am, as you know, an insatiable deck collector, and so are you. I have 54 decks. How many do you have, Bill?
Oh my gosh, 180.
You're crazy. You're crazier than I am. My God. Well,
Yes.
one of my subscribers, Daniela, noticed that I have some fun decks and it said, why don't I do some deck reviews? And frankly, I'd looked at the only thing I look at for flip throughs is I just want to see the pictures. I think they're kind of boring. And so I thought you and I share a lot of decks
We
and we
do.
talk about them all the time. And so I thought it might be fun just to do this flip through together of Tarot of Mystical Moments. That's the deck you and I chose
I
today.
love it.
I do. So I'm inviting everybody else just to sit in and listen in as we pine over these decks. So let me switch cameras. All right. So again, the deck is called Tarot of Mystical Moments. I'm going to push this to the side. There we go. Keep the name in there. And then comes with a little white book, just like they all do. But it's interesting because she did have some really nice things to say. The deck
Yeah.
is almost a grayish tan with tan. It's really pretty, don't you think?
I love it.
That's
I
a
love
sweet
it.
deck. Now, I do not use this hardly at all. In fact, I haven't had it that long. But you said you use it all the time, right?
I do. I use it often. I get requests for this deck because how it depicts different questions, and they like it.
Well, that's the one thing we've talked a lot about. Some decks are just better than others for certain things. And this deck now, it's a real hefty card stock, but it's pliable, very
Yes.
heavily coated. Well, that makes it a little hard to shuffle. It's
Yes.
oversized, makes it a little hard to shuffle. But look at this silver edge. Holy crap. Isn't that pretty? And it goes with the silver edge let me see if I can catch the sun, see on the box. So that's kind of fun too. So let's go
Hmm.
ahead and start. I asked you to pick like your five favorite cards, and I picked my five favorite. And then I
Hmm.
thought what we could do is maybe stop on some of these. There's 78 cards. I don't want an hour and a half video, so we're not going to
No.
stop on every card. Yes, if you want to talk about it, stop me. Okay. All right. First card is the Fool.
Oh,
That
I
was
have that.
that was one of your favorites.
It was. And
So,
the reason why I really like that picture in itself, besides the colors and everything, were the little pieces in it that I noticed. The bird, the alligator, that she's standing on top of that. There's its tail. So it just basically says you're on a new path. Look at how cool that is. It
and
says you're
and the alligator's hiding, and
yes.
she's actually on a dangerous path. She's on the tail of the alligator, doesn't realize it.
Yeah.
And
But But she said, but life is full of surprises anyway, and so you have nothing to lose, so give it a shot. And she's willing to go that journey.
absolutely.
She's
Next
gonna take
card
the risk. Go ahead.
next card is the Magician. Now, I thought this card was strange. I like the Magician. This is like my least favorite card in this deck. It depicts the Magician with nothing that we're familiar with, sitting in a top hat that's being held up high up in the air. I read her depiction of it in the book and I didn't get it. The High Priestess. I like this High Priestess.
Yes.
The tumultuous water shows us of the depth. I like the curtains being the hidden messages. Something's hiding behind the curtains. I like that better than her blocking what's behind the two pillars.
Yes.
Also, she wears a blue shell around her neck, which is intuition. And
Yeah.
anyway, I just like it better. I think it makes more sense to me. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
The Empress is pregnant with her belly exposed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she holds her crown over this baby's head for protection.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
in this deck, it's really interesting because there are two emperors and there are two kings in every suit.
Yes.
I read that she started with all females and then decided to go ahead and pepper in males in through the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the male, and he looks, yeah, he looks very stately. But
He does.
here's
He
the
does.
female. And isn't it interesting that she's the one that holds the strings?
Yes.
This was one of your favorite cards. That was why, right?
Yeah.
Was because of the
Yeah,
string.
it was. I do like
Now, one of my favorite cards is this Hierophant. There are so many different meanings for a lot of these cards that I mean, let's look at the Hierophant. It can be about wisdom. It can be about who you turn to. Let's say if you need counseling. Well, this card comes up in a relationship reading, but it can also stand for hierarchy, for conforming to what's traditional. There's just a lot of different meanings, but this particular creator decided to use the education meaning. And I just
yeah,
think it's a beautiful card. I think
I do too.
I like that she chose just to take a different path than most people do.
Yes.
Okay. The lovers,
Yeah.
depicted as birds.
Yes.
Chariot. I love this one too. Everybody looks at the chariot as speed and fast,
Right.
and you got to march forward. And so many of the cards depict that, even though the Sphinx or the horses are sitting still and
Yeah.
not going anywhere. Everybody still looks at it as a fast moving card. And she's going, no, no, it's not about fast moving. It's about slow and steady wins the race. And
Yes.
she's really honing in on the focus of this, not necessarily, not the speed. It's the focus and the clarity of it. Interesting.
It is very.
Straight card. You know what I like about this card? Dee, the girl holding the lion, she has cat ears and a cat tail. I think that they're bonding because they have something in common.
Mhm.
And it's these nuances that if you sit down and figure them out in a deck, that's what
Mhm.
might jump out and bite you when you're in a reading and a card comes up and it's like, oh, they have something in common. So, for example, if we're doing a reading about work and there's an issue at work and you have to go to the boss, and the boss is this big, mean, stern guy that usually rules the roost. But you guys have something in common. It's mutual respect. So if your boss respects you, even though he might be a toughie, he'll listen to you because he respects you because you have
Mhm.
something. All right, just things like that that pop up. Okay, here's the hermit, and the hermit is holding a light out over the ocean to bring ships in to help ships find their way, and that is one of the meanings of the hermit card. We always focus on introspection and all that, getting away, pulling yourself out of the fray. But it's also about a light. This is his wisdom leading the way, guiding us. And that's kind of what she's doing. And I like that depiction.
Well, she's a mermaid. I love that.
Yeah. And she's a mermaid. We like fish, right? It's Wheel of Fortune. We are made up of very small cogs in a very big wheel, and they all have to be working in order to make it work. And it starts at the top with her heart, uh,
Yes.
her heart cog. You can see she's holding a watch.
Mhm.
What is that? Has that jumped out for with you for anything in your readings?
Yes.
What?
It means timing
Oh,
or in due time. What is your heart telling you right now? Um, is the timing right for you to move forward? That red is about passion. Can you hold yourself back a little bit? You have the pieces, all the wheels are moving, but it's divine timing.
right. Well, and again, everything has to work in unison. The
Yeah.
universe has to work for you, or you're done the water.
Hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Justice. Again, I like the depiction. We have the same thing as Rider Waite Smith. We have the sword for the
Yep.
power, for the control. We have the scales for the fairness and the balance. But what I do
Mhm.
like about this card is that she is up above so she can see the bigger picture.
Right. I love her hair intertwined in the clouds.
Yeah, it's she's thinking, it's thought.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good thing.
There's the hangman. She's hanging by a zipper. And the weight of her body is pulling that zipper down, showing that the next thought or something is to come.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
I do too.
So
I like that.
here's the death card. Yes, it's
I
a little
love this card.
strange.
I love this card.
What do you like about it?
Well,
Weird.
it's basically saying it's weird, but look at the blooming flowers inside of it. You're not dead. Come on. You still have it in you. We know that tarot doesn't tell you when you're dead. So the flowers, the butterfly is life. I mean, to me, it's something coming in to rejuvenate you. And we know it's transformation and change. And it just, it's going to make you grow.
Yeah.
I love it. The new
Temperance.
journey.
This is my second least favorite card in this deck.
Yeah.
Because it just
Yeah.
doesn't say, and I don't care for her rendition in her little white book about this card. I just think it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not seeing where she's coming from on that card. All right,
Yeah.
here's the devil. I love this devil. So
Yeah.
she sits atop a red mushroom, and
Yes.
and she's a spider, and she's created her web for you. But listen, check out in her hand, she's holding sweet cherries. She's going to
Yeah.
lure you in, and it's caution, right? It's
Right.
interesting. All right,
Yeah.
here we go. Here's the tower. Interesting thing about the tower is exploding. She is trying to hold the tower together. And
Right.
but it's not going to happen. It's sitting on top of a volcano, she says.
Right.
And
Yes.
and it's going to go down no matter what. And it's going to take her with it. So it will take
Hmm.
you, or it will take your queer with it, because you can see her hair is turning into smoke from the
Right.
fire.
And
And
it's just like
so,
we say, this has to happen
yeah,
for you to go forward. So it's perfect.
the star.
Yep.
Okay. Uh,
Star. I didn't realize that that was a man. And the wings are.
Really, the button, the thighs don't scream nails.
I
Sorry.
wasn't looking that closely. Sorry.
Well, that's the Taj Mahal in the background. That's what she says.
Yeah.
And for the star for hope, and the dragonfly wings for freedom.
Yes.
You. Right.
I love those wings.
The moon. The moon, and it's a little different too. She sits on a wall. She's overlooking a vast ocean, and the wolf next to her. No dog, but the wolf next to her is for protection. But of
Right.
course, a creature is coming up, and these tentacles coming out of the ground are all her fears, her anxieties, her
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Okay,
Right.
all right. So here we have the sun. How weird is this one? So
I know.
it's light, it's happy, it's airy, but there is a black bird that has flown in front of one of the eyes. And you know what it says? For all the beauty and everything out there, sometimes it doesn't bring happiness.
No.
Or
Right.
sometimes our happiness is shadowed by things. So we can be happy and still be shadowed by things. And then eventually, because it's a bird, it'll flit away, and then it will open up and let all of us, the whole part of us. All right.
Yeah. The
So
obstacle.
here's the judgment card. And
Yep.
this is great. So this woman has wings. That's our angel. And she's got the horn. And what did she say about this? I'm going to get the book out. I really like this card now. A female angel, a messenger from God, blowing a large golden trumpet. She is standing in the middle of a busy city, calling all the people to rise up and take a stand. She reminds us that in the end, we will all be judged for our actions and life choices. But past mistakes will be forgiven when we choose to change and make a new start. And the card urges you to make amends by transforming your life. How interesting is that in modern times? Rise up and take a stand, why don't you? I just think that was a really timely card.
I think it says, get out there and toot your horn.
Yeah, we do like the lighter side, don't we? Everybody. Yay. All right. And then you've got the world.
Yes.
Okay. So let's keep going. Ace of Wands, flowers. And it's interesting because this flower is growing out of a book. There's your creativity. You've got creativity growing. We have
Yes.
the Two of Wands. She sits on her roof and contemplating the world.
Yes.
Three of Wands. She's deciding which direction she wants to send her ship.
Yeah.
Four of Wands. People are happy. They're getting ready to have a party. They've strung the lights and they're dancing on their roof. Very strange.
Mhm. Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
I like the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands, her skirt is a checkerboard. She has five people with five different agendas, she says, coming at her
Mhm.
and trying to develop or cultivate her own so that she can, equalize the situation or whatever, control the situation.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay. So the
He
Six of Wands, the bird is
reading.
but she found a way to capture that beautiful thing, which in this case could be your past, right?
Yeah.
Your past good memories. But she found a way to harness that bird and get that bird's attention. And that was through giving it what it needs, feeding it
Right.
what it needs.
That's the carrot at the end of the stick.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And maybe therein lies one of our hidden meanings that we like to look at for every day.
Could be.
Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, another strange card, probably my third least favorite card in the deck. There's so much in this card, symbolism in this card that you can use for different things.
Yes.
He's pulling apart the obstacles, and
Mhm.
every tattoo he has could have a meaning for you if you wanted to study that card.
Right.
The Eight of Wands, interesting. It's a soft landing instead of a hard landing.
Yes. Yes.
Look at this
Something in the air.
Look at this Nine of Wands. Okay,
I
so
know.
notice in this card, and this, of course, the stuff I'm coming up with is from her. It's from the
Mhm.
creator. All right,
Mhm.
so she's going through a dense forest. There's a thorn bush in front of her, and look as she's parting it. She's trying to get through it, so she's parting it with her
Mhm.
two hands, and she's taken on cuts from the thorns, and there's 9 of
Mhm.
them on her shirt.
Right. Right.
Now, here's another one of my 5 favorites. I love this 10 of Wands because something that I've always said is you can look at the wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith as every single burden that you've taken on, the weight of the world on your shoulders, or every single responsibility that you've agreed to take on, and now you're kind of sorry that you did. But I also like to see all those wands as potential opportunities that have come your way, and you don't want to let go of any of them. But you
No.
can't have all of them. You have to choose. And here she has picked all of these beautiful flowers, and she's taken on so many, and she has 10 more tulips and I don't know how she's going to carry them all. But it
Mhm.
says that just because you have a burden, it doesn't mean that they're bad burdens, right?
No.
There it could be some beautiful things. It's my rendition of the 10 of Wands from a positive perspective of, hey, you're taking on all these beautiful things. It's just that they're weighing you down. You're going to have to, you're going to have to
Mhm.
lighten your load, but they don't have to be bad things. So I like that card.
Yeah, I do too. And those flowers are all different seasons. Tulips are spring. This is throughout your year. If you look at it, because all
Yeah.
those the way those blossoms come through.
Yep. I see that.
Mhm.
Okay. Page of Wands. Interesting.
Oh.
Okay. So here's the Knight of Wands. You know what? Talk about baptism by fire.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting.
But he's moving forward. He's not moving backward. That's good.
Queen of Wands with her sunflower.
Yes.
Now, again, we have 2 kings in every suit. Here is the male king, and it's almost like he's beating the drum to say, "Follow me. I am the one. I am leading the way." You can tell by the fire. And here's the female version of the king, and it's interesting because she's sending out through her wand all these little glittery lights to shine the way forward for her constituency. So they just do it in a couple of different ways, right? He's a little louder, she's a little softer approach by it.
Well, she's totally passionate with all that red. Oh my gosh. She grabs you. And then he's on fire. Come on. Then.
Yeah, he
Okay.
is. Okay, here's one of your favorite cards. Talk about this one.
So that Ace of Cups, I look at that as what it's again, possibilities. Look at that. Look at the butterflies. It's all ideas, power, get up and get going. I just look at it as it's all at your fingertips of what you want to accomplish. How could you not want to move forward in this card?
Yeah, it's a beautiful card. She says that that's a teacup that the girl is holding close to her
Yeah,
heart. And I see
yeah,
the butterflies as she's putting all of her love and compassion and desires and everything out in the world.
yeah.
She's just letting her passion loose on the world. Interesting.
And her emotions. She's in the water. She's
Right.
actually sitting on top of the water.
She is.
She's
Okay.
floating there. I
Two
kind
of
of like that.
Cups. Two of
Oh,
Cups. You can see the flowers intertwined for
mm-hmm,
these two girls. The
mm-hmm.
Three of Cups I thought was kind of strange, but that's okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
now the Four of Cups, it reminds me, and there's another card, I think it's the Six of Swords. This reminds me of a friend that I had who I loved dearly, and she has since passed away from cancer. But it was always something with her. There was always some big drama going on in her life. And it's almost as if she had this big, huge black cloud hanging over her, and you didn't want to stand too close to her because you didn't want to get struck by lightning, right? So I don't know why, but this card reminds me of her. It's like that was my shield, around her. I love the goose that's holding the umbrella for her.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
The Five of Cups, here she is hanging out in the water,
yes.
right? And she's watching the three flowers float away from her, not paying attention to the two she still has.
Right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
then we have the Six of Cups. You got a woman watching a couple of kids or watching these
Yeah.
children play with their balloons. Now,
Yeah.
cup.
Brings up, yeah. Yeah.
And this is interesting, the Seven of Cups, because in every tarot card, there's a choice, right? In this card,
Yes.
she's made her choice. And
He's made it.
well, the only question is, did she make the right one?
Exactly. Is she pointing at the right one? But look at all that she has there are all shining at her. There's nothing there that says, look out, you're gonna get bit, something else, whatever. Be careful what you pick. This is which one?
Maybe
Geez,
she's
maybe
chosen.
this would be a good casino card. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, hope provided she picks the right one.
Yeah.
Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. I'm not going to get into it because have other cards I want to
Yeah.
talk about here. Another strange, strange card. Now,
Yeah.
here's the Nine of Cups, and you said that was one of your top five. Why?
Did I have that?
Yeah, I
No.
think you did.
Well, one of the things that I do like about this card, besides I love the headdress on her head, but her fan is all the cups.
Right.
And
In the book, it says her fan consists of 9 golden cups, and I'm going, yeah, they don't look gold to me. But anyway,
I know that I
don't know.
didn't see that. But I think the 9 cups are basically those are all the things that maybe it's her bucket list. And she's chosen that, and she's very, very comfortable with those 9.
Now, here's what I think is strange about this card, and I just noticed it this minute. She's wearing armor. This is supposed to be
Mm.
the all your wishes to come true card.
Yeah,
Why is she wearing armor? That is
good
okay. Well,
question.
that's just that's a discussion for a later time. All right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
also said that you liked the Ten of Cups. That was in your top five.
10 of cups. Let me see my 10. Well, who cannot like that card? Look at
Well, you know what's interesting is instead of the two children, right, and one
right.
dog like they usually have, she has 10 kids here. But
Yes, and kids.
interesting. I mean, they are obviously fish, and we love fish, but they are obviously hiding from her.
Okay, so this 10 of cups, I'm just going to say, count your blessings. Look at all those little fish underneath that mom.
Well, it's interesting that there in this card, there's an
Yeah,
element of protection of the family that we don't see in
y-
other cards.
right, right.
But they're still looking at the rainbow. They still have a
Yes,
rainbow.
yes,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah.
So here is one of my top five. It is the Page of Cups. If you'll notice, her hair flows like water. I just love the way the fish is looking up at her. It reminds me of remember Marmaduke?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I just love that because to me, my go-to key phrase for this card is expect the unexpected. And that's what the fish is all about. The fish is all about something unexpected that's due to happen. And I just think that she brings that out in this card beautifully. So that's why I
Yeah,
like it.
like it. I
Okay.
like it.
The Knight of Cups is strumming heartstrings, right? And with
Yes.
a heart, which I think is strange.
It's called listening to your heart.
That's very strange. Okay, so the Queen of Cups shows her tentacles, which are like octopus tentacles in her hair,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They're reaching out and they're touching lots of people or lots of, they're reaching out to everybody. And yet
Mhm.
it shows, her softer side as she takes care of the seahorse that is underneath her arm. So, I mean, there's just some really nice, analogies in these.
It's
Now,
beautiful.
here is the King of Cups, the male version of the King of Cups, right?
Yes.
Well, he
Yes.
has a tumultuous sea in his belly, but
Yes.
he is keeping this ship balanced. And I
Right.
think that's a nice way of looking, 'cause these cards are really hard for me to,
Mhm.
just to look at and be able to resonate with. And I like the fact that he's helping others. He's helping somebody keep balanced. And then there's the female version of the king, and
Mhm.
she is a rock, right? Like the rock of Gibraltar. She
Yep.
is a rock. And look at the ship coming through in tumultuous waters. And what I see in this card, which I think is fabulous, is, and she doesn't say this in the book, but I look at this and I see that she is a port in the storm. So
Oh.
if you're having trouble in life and you need someone to turn to, she could be your port in the storm. You know,
Yep.
I
Yep.
just love that card. I think that card is so cool.
Look at her hair. I love that.
Those
Uh,
are tentacles again,
those
reaching
are all
out.
those tip he uses that a lot. I like it.
She does. Okay, here's one of your top 5, the Ace of Swords.
Yes. Okay, first of all, I didn't is it a man or a woman?
I can't tell anymore.
I can't tell,
She's trans.
but the shirt, because of the it's full of stars. To me, that reminds me of the universe.
Yeah.
And we always talk about what's the key to get us to our journey where we want to go. But this is the key of knowledge. And it should fit inside that little keyhole up in him or her. I think it's a him. How's that?
Okay.
And it's going to be a challenge because you see mountains in the back and it's kind of overcast. So to me, yes, you will be able to accomplish something, but it's just not going to be handed to you. You're going to have to work at it. And I like it. I think it just makes me think bigger
Yeah.
when I see it.
And I hope as we're going through all this, I hope people are thinking about, what do you see in the card? What resonates with you, and how can you use that in a reading for
Yeah.
somebody? All right. So
Exactly.
the Two of Swords is strange.
Yeah.
And she says in the book that the eyes are covered so she can't see the answer. She has a wooden hat with a nest in it. And
Mm,
two birds are sitting outside in the open because neither one of them can decide which one's going to get the nest.
right.
Mm.
So it's a decision. Big
Yeah.
decisions
I just
about
don't understand what she has to do with it. I mean, I don't even know why she's there.
because birds can't be in a stalemate, but a person can come to a stalemate
Yeah.
situation and you have to think about it and
Strange.
see which way you're going to go. So,
All right. We always want to see what the death card and the Three of Swords looks like and all that. Here's the Three of Swords. It's a
yeah.
rose, 3 arrows in the heart. But she says in the book, he is still open. See his hands? Um,
Yes.
he's crying tears of blood.
Hmm.
Okay. So the Four of Swords, very typical, right?
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
obvious, right? But
Yeah.
you ready? This is one of my fives. This is the Five of Swords. So
I love
what she says in the book is, there was a fight and she won. So she is in the limelight because she won. But it's like, I don't know if she ripped his heart out or what, but she ripped something out because she's holding it in her hand, and 5 stitches hold his hurt or
Yeah.
his injury together. And she's carrying a flower because of victory,
Mhm.
but it's hiding half of her face because the way she won was not good. So I
Yeah.
just love that card. I think that's a great.
I do too. I really like that card.
I mentioned earlier that the Six of Swords reminded me too of this friend of mine where I was afraid to stand too close to her. Anyway,
Jennifer.
interesting. Six of Swords. This is that moving on, that transition card. And here
Yes.
she is. She has 6 little clouds around her. She's attaching herself to a star, and she's trying to find an anchor. She's trying to find a place that she feels safe and secure. The anchor being safe and secure.
Well, that's the lifeline.
Yeah.
Which way is it going to go?
Right. Isn't
I
that
like it.
interesting? Okay. So here we have the Seven of Swords.
Hmm.
And in this, and you're not going to be able to see it in this, but you'll be able to see it if you buy the cards. This is a woman with a snake body. deceptive, right? So she's
Yeah.
hiding the fact that she's a snake by covering herself in flowers. She just stole 5 eggs out of a nest behind her. See over here. And she did it under the cloak of that she's actually a nice flower. So
Mhm.
anyway,
Mhm.
just weird depiction.
Mhm.
The Eight of Swords. And this is a very typical Rider Waite type of picture. Lets us know that this angel is so busy being overwhelmed by everything in her mind, doesn't see that she does have an out.
She's not stopped.
The Knight of Swords, the eyes have it, right? These
Yep.
are
Yeah.
all these
Happens.
things that all these things that she sees. I think it's a strange card. I
Mhm.
don't resonate with all the cards in here, but I do love this 10 of swords. And if you look really closely, these are needles and they all have an eye. It reminds me of a darning needle. She's being attacked from all angles. And remember, this is a sword. It's a mental card. What is attacking
Mhm.
her? It's anonymous because it
Right.
doesn't show us who's attacking her. It's
No.
anonymous. So therefore, she's going to have to figure that out. And that might be
Right.
part of the thing for it.
Mhm.
Page of Swords. There was a Page of Swords. And it's interesting because I would have thought that picture would have been perfect for the Page of Pentacles because I see the Page of Pentacles as an education, right? So we have books, we have the graduate on top, and he's holding a dandelion that has gone to seed. So all of his ideas and all of his future, he could go in any direction just as the seeds go.
Yep. I like it.
What about this Knight of Swords?
Flying in on that feather. I look at that.
Sad.
It is odd.
So
Um,
go ahead.
no, I just need cards on either side of me to tell me which way I'm gonna go because
Well, she is holding a pen. So this is what the book
and
says
it's
about her.
communication.
Yeah. This female Knight of Swords is flying on a feather through a rough, stormy sky. The clouds depict an aura of energy surrounding her, and the feather symbolizes the knight's ability to think fast on her feet. The news excerpt in her dress relates to women's equal rights, a cause she is battling for. Is that weird or what? The knight,
Yeah.
the knight is fighting for her words and she wants to win with her intellect. She holds her weapon, a pen, high in the sky and
Yeah.
cuts clouds of opposition into pieces. Nothing can stop her ambitious dedication to her cause. Now, it's just strange for Tarot deck to have that be your cause, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it's fighting for your cause. And how does your cause show itself, right? I love
Mhm.
the feather thinking on her feet, going,
Thinking on her feet. I do like that.
me
To
too.
me, the feather should be going the other way, but she's kind
Well,
of standing still with that feather. So
okay. So here we have the Queen of Swords. Again, you got a bird's eye view.
bird's eye view. Yep.
Okay. Now we have the King of Swords, the male king. And you see how the blackbird is covering one of his eyes again. But he's a samurai warrior, a king of great strength and discipline and leadership, dedicated to their cause. It's a samurai. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the female version. And, it's interesting because here too, she has a needle and
Yep.
she's threading the stars in the sky
Mm-hmm.
wrap around her dress. So these are intellects, right? It's just a different approach. It's a different way that
Mm-hmm.
she leads. Okay. So here is an Ace of Pentacles. That was your fifth card of your favorite in the deck. Talk about this.
Well, again, I like this a new beginning, and I'm looking at that fern as it is pushing its way from underground because it was a challenge. This is again another challenging path, but it's an opportunity, and she is making sure that it gets the opportunity and it gets the growth that it needs for her to feel the achievement. To me, this just looks like you go, girl.
Yeah, and I love to watch ferns unfurl because they do. They're
Yeah.
rolled up.
Yeah.
And as the ferns come up every spring, they unfurl.
Mhm.
And it comes a long way. So that's really it's a nice looking card. Okay.
It is. I like it.
We have the Two of Pentacles, right? She's balancing on a building.
Yeah.
Very similar. the Three of Pentacles. We
Now,
have
isn't it interesting one?
you.
Yeah.
And all be good. You got two birds helping a young girl build a brick flower. One of the birds has a brick in its mouth. She's reaching
Yes.
for it. The other one has a hammer. Why would you use
Yeah.
a hammer on if you're laying brick? Why
I
not?
don't know.
Why not a cement trowel? I mean, I don't know. Anyway,
Well, the other thing is that's the three. Two birds and a person
yeah,
equals the three.
right.
And I don't see anything that resembles a pentacle.
I don't.
It,
Well, the center.
yeah, I looked at that, but I
What
the
I don't
pentacle,
understand, it's not that. What I don't understand is the brick.
yeah,
So
the
let's see
brick.
what she says. The Three of Pentacles shows two parents helping a young girl build a flower out of bricks. All three figures work as a team, helping each other succeed with this collaborative project. Each has something useful to contribute because they respect each other and value each other's opinion and knowledge. Together, they will succeed. Well, okay, it's just a
Well,
straight version of
yeah, Three of Pentacles is rebuilding and teamwork.
that.
So
All right. I like this Four of Pentacles.
I do too.
It reminds me of the Four of Pentacles in the Anna Kay, which I think we should do next because we both use and like Anna Kay deck. And I think people
Yeah,
really like that deck.
we
Anyway,
do.
in this one, it reminds me of the other one. You've got the fence. She's standing behind a fence. So she's separating herself from people. The fence is
Hmm.
locked. And it's like she's holding on to her domain, onto her home,
Right,
onto what is important to her, onto her
right.
security. I mean, our home is typically our security. And so she's hanging on to that.
Mhm.
And I think it's a good card.
Yeah, I do
As
too.
opposed to the Five of Pentacles, which is strange.
Yeah,
We don't need to talk
left
about it.
out in the cold, left out in the cold. But again, there's that flower that's always gives you there's still hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's sinking into a hole. All right. Now, here she says, this is interesting, the Six of Pentacles. So
Yeah.
it's hard to see, but there's a man. Can you see the man on
Yeah,
top? The T,
on the
or
spigot.
the T handle, the T
Yep.
touch, I should say. All right.
Yeah.
So he's the one really directing the T. The ladies are patiently waiting for the T. And it's hopeful that one day they would be able to turn around and reciprocate and give to
Right.
him at a time that he may need it.
Yep. Give and take.
The Seven of Pentacles, right? She's harvesting apples. So she's taking a break and she's looking at part of what she's harvested.
Hmm.
Pretty card. I don't kind of weird. The Eight of Pentacles. She is painting. Look at the paintbrush in this picture.
Yeah.
She is
She is.
she's painting these butterflies. She's painting them different colors. And so
Mhm.
she's creating beauty. And
Mhm.
that might be that might be something that you could relate to.
Doing her best. But did you happen to look at the face on that butterfly as it's looking up at her?
Yep.
It's so sweet. And she's like, You do the best you can with me because you're making me beautiful. I appreciate it. I like it.
Yeah. And we could look at how that might resonate with somebody needing help, right? It's like
Yeah.
my friend had something bad happen to her. What can I do to help her out? And then you get the Eight of Pentacles in this
Right.
deck. You
Yeah.
know,
To me,
you
it
can
really
help her
pulls up.
you can help
It,
paint a prettier picture, or you can help paint a
yeah.
softer picture going forward, or something like that.
Yeah. It's whatever ends up on either side of it as you're going through.
Right.
It can really pull that card up.
Okay.
All right.
This is my last. I think this is my last one that was in my top five,
Oh, okay.
and it's here because I absolutely love this card, and I bought this deck because of this card alone. It reminds me of Carmen Miranda, and I
Yes.
just love this card.
I love it too.
Yeah, and
Beautiful.
and the meaning is no different than it would be in a Rider Waite. I mean, the imagery. I just think it brings it out, and I just think it's beautiful. All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
so here is your last favorite card in the deck:
Yes.
the Ten of Pentacles.
Um,
Play this card.
Ten of Pentacles. Well, I got this deck shortly after I lost my brother in a freak accident. So I asked the deck after that accident, can you tell me where he is or what's coming in, what should come to my mind? Or I don't even know. I was kind of out of it. And this card came up And it basically said he's there, he's older, he's wiser, but he's watching over his family. And it felt so soothing to me because the plants are still growing and he just seems so calm
The
with
house is
what
still
was
there.
going on.
The house is
It,
still there. The family is still
everything is
there.
still standing and it's just that he's not there. But this was the best card I could have ever pulled.
Well, it's interesting
Mm.
because, and even though the tree has felled, is
Yes.
felled, the term,
I
it
love
has it has 10 rings, and each ring, she says in the book, represents 10 years. So he's 100
yes.
years old. And in those rings, in those years that are being recognized by something
Yes.
real, which are actual rings in a tree, it's
Right.
showing the family that he raised, the house that he
Yes.
built, the life that he had.
Mhm.
All right. So
Mhm.
we have the Page of Pentacles, very pretty.
Yes.
Here's the Knight of Pentacles. Interesting. The horse is made of oak leaves.
Oak
And
leaves,
oaks
yes.
are known for their stability and their longevity. And it's interesting because she's protecting this field. And even though
Mhm.
not much happens, there's not much in the field to protect, she's protecting it anyway.
He's
So
doing it
that,
anyway.
yeah, that goes to how boring this card can be. Well,
Right.
it's the consistency and the stability that she's always there protecting. Um,
Seeds planted.
yep. The Queen of Pentacles is a beautiful card.
It is.
And she's protecting down here's like there's this family of rabbits down in the corner, whole family
Right.
of rabbits,
Yes.
which is, akin to her.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
So here is the male pentacle. And
Yes.
it's showing him on top of these antlers of this, this like what, 10 point buck, a 10 point buck, and
I
hold
think that could be a stag, Lynn.
a stag.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a stag and a buck?
I don't know. I
It's just
I just thought I'd throw that at you.
But he's at the top of his game, right?
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
masculine, very virulent, top of his game. The last card that we have to show you is the female version of the King of Pentacles. And
Yes.
this is very strange. So the center of the flowers is the shape of a gold coin. And
Yes.
and she's putting them all right, so let me explain. It shows the female king in a garden surrounded by blooming flowers. Blossoms have round gold centers that look like shiny gold coins. They
Right.
represent the wealth and success the king has achieved. She is carefully absorbing the golden coins into her chest, which shows her discipline and dedication to handle business and finances. And it goes on from there. But notice in her hair, she has
Yeah.
her home
Her
on her
home.
mind.
Okay, you've got the book right there.
Yeah.
What kind of inscription on this King of Pentacles, the male? Does it call it a deer or a stag?
Okay. You're going to hold me to this, aren't you? Wearing a suit
Still,
and hat, wearing a suit and a hat, the King of Pentacles looks the part of a smart businessman. He stands
okay.
confidently in a deer's antlers,
Thank you so
being able to handle every problem masterfully. The deer is a symbol of strength, leadership, and manliness, and it also connects the king with the natural environment. This This is a beautiful deck, again, with silver on it. It's got this really pretty, almost like lacy looking back to it. Tarot of Mystical Moments. She also put together an oracle deck called Oracle of Mystical Moments. I don't have that. Do you, Dee?
No.
So there's another option. I got mine on Amazon. What'd you do? Find yours at a garage sale? I don't
No, no, I got mine on Amazon just because I like the pictures on it and it was so pretty.
What amazes me is you find these beautiful baubles, these beautiful stones. You find boxes, you find decks, you find all this wonderful stuff at garage sales. Yet I never hear about you going to garage sales all the time. I would think,
Mm.
yeah, and I know you and your daughter like to do that together. But I don't get it. I don't go to a lot of garage sales, but the ones I do go to don't have anything like this, and yet you find it everywhere you go. I am just
Pretty
amazed.
much. Pretty much. Well,
So,
Tom likes to go too.
so here's what I want to do. If you liked us doing this and want to see us do another one, we would do Anna Kay next probably, or you can recommend something. But if you hit the like button, we will know whether or not we should do another one of these. So why don't you take that into consideration and we'll see you next time.